Up next, we have Karl Andrus, please. Good morning, Mr. Andrus.
Can I use the mouse? Okay. Hello, my name is Karl Andrus. I'm from the Hamilton Community Benefits Network. Thank you, Chair, Public Health Committee members, residents, staff, and media for listening today as I come to delegate about the need for a measure to address climate change and extreme heat days, particularly a maximum heat bylaw here in the City of Hamilton. Oops. What did I do? Did I click on it?
If folks are watching from home, we're just having a little technical glitch here with the...
Good. Can I still use the mouse, or? Okay, thank you. Historically, extreme heat has been a rare issue, with only one major heat incident generating casualties. An estimated 80 Hamiltonians died between July 8th and July 15th in 1936 when temperatures broke 40 degrees Celsius. In recent years, the temperature has increased greatly. We are breaking heat records year on year, and the temperatures are only set to increase. We have been fortunate, partly due to the prevalence of air conditioning among those privileged enough to have it, to have avoided a mass casualty event so far. But what about those who don't have AC or can't because their landlord prevents them? Just this April, we broke another heat record. Climate change impacts from the City of Hamilton's own report from July 2022 reference the 2021 Climate Science Report prepared for this city by ICLE Canada. It states temperature indicators for the City of Hamilton are projected to experience significant warming under all climate change modeling scenarios. The minimum, average, and maximum monthly temperatures will increase as the number of extreme heat days will increase while the number of extreme cold days will decrease. The City of Hamilton has recently broken summer temperature records in 2016, 2018, and 2021. 2016 also saw 26 heat alert days where the daily temperature reached at least 31 degrees Celsius or 40 degrees with the humidex, with nightly temperatures lingering above 20 degrees Celsius, compared to only 17 in 2015. In addition to the average maximum temperatures, the warmest maximum temperature is also expected to increase in additional warming due to the humidex, which could make it feel 5 to 10 degrees warmer. The length of the hot season, or days from the first day of the year with a maximum temperature over 30 degrees Celsius to the last day with over 30 degrees Celsius, is also expected to increase. The baseline length of the hot season is currently 71.6 days, expected to increase to 126.2 days, which is almost double the length of the current hot season. From that same report, we learned that heat is by far the most deadly of climate change impacts we are facing in Canada, which has seen nearly 1,400 heat-related deaths, the worst of all climate-related fatalities. In BC, in 2021, we saw 619 vulnerable folks die of a heat-related event. 98% of those deaths occurred inside homes without cooling systems. In Quebec, in 2018, we saw 53 heat-related deaths. Again, lack of AC was the primary cause among these mortalities. Heat is no longer a luxury. No longer is heat is not a luxury, and no longer is air conditioning a luxury either. Access to these cooling systems saves lives. The City of Hamilton, recognizing that heat is not a luxury, has two key bylaws regulating landlords. The Adequate Heat Bylaw, number 04-091, which has been on the books since April 28, 2004, being a bylaw to require the supply of adequate heat and suitable heat for rental replacement premises. It dictates between September 15th and May 15th, a property must be kept to at least 20 degrees Celsius. It's written as a complement to reinforce the Residential Tenancies Act and shows it's well within the City of Hamilton's power to regulate inside temperatures. You also have the Consolidated Bylaw 09-190, Vital Services Bylaw, which was passed in October 2005, which regulates access to what it calls adequate and suitable vital services, which include heat as a core need. Once again, a necessity, not a luxury. This bylaw was written to work in conjunction with existing provincial legislation in the Residential Tenancies Act. We know summers are getting hotter. We know that heat events are killing more people every year. As municipal government, you are already regulating access to heat through two key bylaws. Climate change is bringing greater and greater heat impacts, and the need to access to cooling and air conditioning grows greater with each summer. I implore you to act now to pass a maximum heat bylaw to avoid another mass casualty incident like the tragedy of 1936. Back then, air conditioning was not commonly or widely available, but today that is no longer the case. You can proactively take steps now to prevent another tragedy. This city acknowledges that heat is a necessity of life. It passed very specific bylaws to prevent folks from freezing to death in their apartments. You can and must pass a bylaw to prevent them from being baked to death as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Andrus. Councillor Pauls.
Thank you, Karl. And every time you come, I have to really listen because you talk so fast. Maybe 5 minutes is not enough. But anyways, you said something that just intrigued me. And you said the landlords are preventing them from getting air conditioner. Now, if I lived in an apartment, I want to get a unit to put outside. I can't, out my window, I could not do that?
There are some landlords that restrict the installation of air conditioning in residential properties. It is a measure that is being addressed with proposed changes by the Ontario government to the Residential Tenancies Act to ensure that air conditioning units are a right for tenants to have and install themselves. But currently there is the ability of landlords to restrict your installation of air conditioning either through requiring certification of it or especially in those cases, as were mentioned earlier, where the landlord is paying for the hydro as part of the utilities. They don't want to see that extra $25 or $50 a month incurred on their profit expenses.
So you're saying not all apartments, just some are? So
some landlords are most definitely making these restrictions.
And I wonder
yes.
what percentage it is.
Unfortunately,
so
those stats aren't available, but I would argue for the sake of this committee that even 1 or 2 units who do not have access to an air conditioner during extreme heat is too many.
And I agree with you, but that's why we need to know so we could target those that are not allowing. That's where the problem is. So we target the problem, then we could solve it. My question also, and you mentioned that cost of getting the air conditioner, and if we supply that, the landlord supply, that's not the real issue, my point. My point is running it, because even in the heat...
Questions? Questions
Oh, yeah,
to the
and
delegate?
I'm going to ask the question.
And through the chair, please.
Okay, and through the chair. I'm just wondering, it's the cost. In your opinion, when we do the heat, sometimes I like my house to be cooler and I wear an extra jacket. In the heat, is there a regulation that we have to, because if I can't afford it, I'm not going to turn it on. So if these, or DSB or, low income can't afford it, they might not turn it on, and we want them to turn them on. Is there a solution to that?
So, respectfully through the chair, most apartments in the city of Hamilton, the vast majority of them, heat is included as part of the utilities that are covered by the landlord. Mm-hmm. In very rare cases is electric heat used in a tenancy situation. Most of them are in larger buildings, of course. You have a central unit that provides heat for all of them, and you already have 2 bylaws on the books that require during the periods from May to September that those units are kept at a minimum of 20 degrees. So that's the barest minimum that the City of Hamilton has decided is to prevent people from freezing in their apartments. So that is a bylaw choice that you're already doing in apartments, and as I said, those are included in the vast majority of units. And as other delegates have alluded to, there are substantial efficiencies that can be created by new heating and cooling systems being being installed in apartments that are relatively inexpensive to run for either the landlords who are covering those utilities or the tenants themselves. Items such as heat pumps have dropped significantly in cost and would not be incur additional expenses over and above the massive profits that landlords are already incurring from their monthly tenant incomes.
Thank you for that. And my point is we want them to use it, the air conditioner, not weighing the cost, right? Because it's so important to use it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. There are no further questions. Thank you, Delegate Andrus. Just a reminder to committee members, please make your remarks in the form of a question and through the chair.